How's it going? Yeah, so if you guys haven't been reading the news lately, I thought this was pretty interesting. Basically, the metaverse is coming to an end. Not completely, there'll always still be some type of metaverse around, but all these companies are abandoning ship. So, yeah, Microsoft coming out and saying they're done, bets are off on that. Disney, they fired their entire metaverse brand or division. Discontinued. Disney said it will discontinue its metaverse division. Plans to lay off 7,000 employees, trying to get profitable. Even Meta themselves has said, oh well, we're going to try to get lean, and hopefully, I don't know, it'll take longer than we thought, and yada yada yada. Eventually, the people working at Metaverse, like on the board, don't want to be in the Metaverse, but Zuckerberg does, and he controls the board, all that kind of stuff. So he's going to push forward, but eventually he'll give up too, and they'll move on to something different. But the reason why everyone's moving on is because AI. AI is the new hot topic in that's going on right now, and it's showing a lot more promise than the Metaverse ever really did, because the Metaverse wasn't really. It all hinged on like intangibles, things that weren't actually physical and couldn't be proven, such as like NFTs came out of the whole metaverse thing, and that thing's is a giant bust. Yeah, Meta to wind down NFTs on platform. Uh, Basically, Meta, the Facebook, is cutting off support for digital collectibles NFTs on its platform after a year of rolling it out. So you can't even have NFTs on Meta, which is going to be the biggest metaverse. So NFTs are kind of a bust. This is funny because when NFTs first started coming around, I said they're like the Beanie Babies craze, and everyone says I was an idiot because Beanie Babies are physical and these are blah 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 whatever. And this is another interesting one. Playboy's crypto gambling goes bust, loses $5 million on an NFT project. I didn't even know about this, but do you really want to buy these bunnies as NFTs? I don't know. The whole thing of NFTs was just stupid to begin with. A lot of promises, all hinging on the fact that we're all going to be living in this digital metaverse that was never actually going to happen because it's so far, far into the future. One day, sure, but I mean, Meta, who spent billions of dollars on making a metaverse, even changed their company from Facebook to Meta. Have you seen what it looks like? It looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. Like, just watch some gameplay of it. It looks terrible. And they spent billions. Like, I think they're at like $15 billion, or was it more than that? I want to say, let's see if it's in this article. Okay, yeah, has pumped 36 billion into it. 36. That was way off. Maybe it was like 15 a year. And it's terrible. Also, Sony came out with their VR, and they're expected to sell like 2 million, and they sold like 250,000. It's just not what people think. And AI is really taking over because it's actually proving things and actually seems like a viable thing. If you just explore like search terms, and this all kinds, if you guys want to relate it to comic books, VeVe. If you guys don't know what VeVe is, they sell like NFTs of things like that, and people always, like, they have comics. Here's some comics that they're coming out with. I said it was bad to begin with. Disney owns the rights to this, so they're going to still push out comic books, right? Because they're not actually doing it. They're just licensing out there to comics for VeVe. So VeVe will still have new comics coming from Marvel, which is owned by Disney. So fear not there, but the thing is that VeVe's going to die. I said that from the beginning. It doesn't really make any sense. And here's the thing. During a recession and during like when you have good times, there's going to be a lot of companies that sprout out of nowhere. But the true, actually strong companies will survive when everything crashes, and they can weather the storm. That's the same with collectibles. So VeVe is going to go away, but actual physical comics will stay around because they've been around for a very, very long time and seen these cycles all the time. So yeah, they probably went really high. Now they're going to come back down, but eventually they'll go high again. They'll stick around forever. Those are things that will last for a very, very long time. I'll do another video on what more in depth on physical and digital and comics as a medium and in the future. But for now, I'm just talking about metaverse, and I just find this, more funny. So if we look at VeVe, interest over time. So this, if you guys don't know what this is people Googling VeVe in some capacity. So obviously peaked way over here. That was its most popular. November 7th through 13th in 2021. It is down to right around 11, 7, 9 popularity, which that's where it was back in 2020 when no one really cared about this stuff. If we can look at other terms, NFT. We'll get rid of this. So basically here's NFT, popularity, same thing, got really popular, dropping. For some reason it got a little popular again, drop. It's down to nothing again. What else have we got? Metaverse. Let's see how popular this is. This is like people Googling it and talking about it. Got super popular, this is, and then got down to like nothing. No one really cares. Now let's compare that to AI. Let's see which more popular. AI. Look at AI. AI has always been somewhat popular. People searching about it, talking about things like that. Even when Metaverse was at its peak, let's see if we can add NFTs. Even NFTs at its peak, NFTs is yellow, so it did, more people were searching for NFTs during this time, but look at it. It continues to grow and grow, and look at, bigger than NFTs ever were. VeVe won't even show up on this thing. It'll be so small. And I'll just show it to you. Green. Look, it's nothing. You barely even see it. I don't even know if you guys can see it. But compared to that, look how much, even at its height, NFTs didn't come close to AI. AI is really just going to change a lot of things. I think there's going to be a lot of, just like with the NFTs and Metaverse and how it's like everyone's going to live in this digital space. You better get this digital collectible in this digital land right now, or you're not going to have anything. You're going to basically live in a cardboard box and have nothing. So you better hurry up and buy this garbage. I think there's a lot of that with AI going on, but I feel like people are going to want substance. They want to see something. They want to actually see this be used for something. And there's a lot of applications. I mean, I use ChatGPT. There's a lot of, I use Midjourney, so I use the digital art AI. It's pretty useful, very useful. I'll do another video on it. And yeah, there's going to be a lot that are going to come out. There's going to be a lot that's garbage, but there's going to be a lot that's come out that's going to be even more applicable than Metaverse ever was, NFTs ever were. So I was never really a fan of NFTs. So if you're like in my camp, then I guess you'll be a lot of tall glasses of "I told you so" going around. If any of you comic people out there are into VeVe, I would suggest just get out. That's my suggestion. You should have got out a long time ago, but I would suggest get out. It's not really worth anything. And in the future, right now, I've read a bunch of stuff on like people that dived into the details. And it's pretty much like a handful of people that buy up most of the stuff and then hoard it to inflate the price. I've also noticed that the amount of releases that they release a comic, they drop a comic. I'm not going to talk on stuff outside of the comics, but they will release a comic and it used to have like 30,000, 20,000. Now their releases have way less availability. That means there's just less people using it, and so there's just less demand for it, and I feel like that's going to continue. I do not see this as a thing in the future where you pick up like a Spider-Man 1 VeVe and it's, 10 years in the future and the thing is skyrocketed in price. It won't be, because it was ridiculous. Sometimes at its peak, the VeVe comics were selling more than the actual physical copies, which I thought was stupid. If you want to spend $5 to $10 on it, go ahead. It's fine. But it will go the way of the Beanie Babies, where they're, at one point Beanie Babies, some were selling for thousands, and now they're worth like, $5, $10, $15. So sure, they're always going to have maybe some value there. It's not going to. I could see it going down to zero, but realistically, let's go for dollars. But just like Beanie Babies, but I just don't see it as a long-term investment. So don't spend a lot of money in it. Just if you enjoy it, just buy them for a few dollars, right? If you enjoy it, because I'm not going to. But if you're thinking that this will be an investment, I'm sorry, it won't. So please sell it if you think it's going to be an investment. Get what you can for it. Put it in something else. It won't be an investment. But if you like it because it's fun, do that. Same with NFTs. They're worthless, but if you like them, I'm not going to tell you what to like and not like, then spend your money on it. But don't think of it as an investment. All right.